LoreWarrior Aerospace. Guardian Fighter. Overview. In the era of the Succession Wars, mechs and aerospace fighters are assets too rare and valuable to be wasted. This is especially true for the Capellan Confederation of House Lau. Controlling the smallest military and industrial base in the Inner Sphere, Lau was the first of the successor houses to use conventional combat equipment to replace mechs and aerospace fighters whenever possible. Though aerospace fighters can provide decisive intervention in a ground battle, they're best used to maintain space superiority. In 2831, House Lau began to issue Guardian conventional fighters to beef up the ground attack capabilities of their garrison units, rather than wasting more valuable aerospace fighters on ground support. The Guardian carries a good-sized bomb load, and its SRM-6 packs a reasonable punch, which is adequate to perform ground support missions. In a contest with an aerospace fighter of similar size, however, the Guardian cannot hold a candle to its fighter cousin. Perhaps most important to House Lau is that the Guardian is cheap, easy to maintain, and does not require high-tech production facilities. Capabilities. The Guardian is powered by a Rawlings 140 air turbine, which utilises 4 exhaust nozzles, 2 on each side of the fuselage. These nozzles can be rotated to give the Guardian VS stall capabilities. True vertical takeoff and landings are only possible when the craft isn't loaded with ordnance, but even with a full bomb load, the Guardian needs only 50 metres of open field to be airborne. The Rawlings air intake is located on top of the fuselage, behind the cockpit. This configuration reduces the aircraft's radar signature and diminishes the possibility of landing strip debris being sucked up into and damaging the turbine. The Guardian's construction is a model of simplicity. Its airframe avionics and engine are built up from component modules for easy removal and replacement in the field. Though most of its electronics are considered obsolete, they are highly reliable. This puts the Guardian at a disadvantage against more technologically advanced units, but it also means an army of techs are not necessary to keep it operating. Indeed, only one Aztec, if any, is usually assigned to a Guardian. This reduction of manpower is possible through the use of a unique electronic system fault tester. The tester isolates and identifies the problem area and tells the Aztec what number module to remove and replace. It also prints out a list of workable substitute modules, along with necessary directions for modification if the required module is not available. The Guardian has 2 major flaws. The first is that it cannot withstand damage. Its speed is the aircraft's only defense against aerospace fighters, for example, because a fighter can shoot it down easily. Its other defect is the relatively weak primary armament. In ground support, the SRM isn't as effective as laser or other energy weapon mounts. Mounting a laser on the Guardian would be impractical, however, for it would only further increase its weight and thus reduce its speed more. Overall, the Guardian has performed well as a stopgap measure for the Capellans. When used with an awareness of limitation, the craft has provided yeoman service to hard-pressed garrison commanders. Battle history. Soon after receiving a squadron of Guardians, the Lau forces on Sappho were hit by an overwhelming invasion by House Marek. In the first wave, Marek seized Sappho's major cities and industrial areas, along with the spaceport and all other military installations. The few surviving Lau aerospace fighters could no longer operate for lack of airfields. The Lau mech's forces were also shattered, with the remaining units fleeing into the jungle, hoping for the arrival of a relief force. One of these escaped units was the 976th Air Support Squadron. Its 12 pilots have been able to load up most of their ammunition, fuel and parts onto Karnovs and escape before the Marek forces overran their base. For 6 months, the 976 staged what has become a textbook example of an air unit fighting guerrilla actions. Using their mobility to the fullest, the 976 continually hit Marek ground targets without warning. Flying in at treetop level, they dropped their load of infernos or high explosives and then escaped in the confusion. With their VSTL capability, the unit was not tied down to one base area. They only stayed in one place long enough to rearm or refuel before going out on another mission. The helicopters, meanwhile, were moved to another field. The 976 were not invincible, though. They had to be particularly wary in areas patrolled by aerospace fighters. Indeed, 7 of their number were destroyed in chance encounters with such. Fuel was another issue. The Rawlings may be fuel efficient, but it cannot run on air. Early on, the squadron was able to hook up with a lance of Vulcans, which helped them raid ammo and fuel dumps to keep the 976 supplied. While the Vulcans took out the infantry, the Guardians bombed any mechs that tried to intervene. The Karnovs would then haul away the supplies. After 6 months, the 976 were reduced to just 4, with 2 Vulcans and 1 Karnov. A Marok patrol spotted these survivors while they were on the ground refueling one day, and within an hour, a battalion of jump troops would attack. The Guardian pilots were gunned down before they could even reach their machines. Variants. The most popular variant is the Guardian B, which substitutes the Rawlings 120 for the Rawlings 140. This lowers its speed somewhat and reduces the bomb load, but does allow the SRM-6 to be replaced with a single medium laser, heat sinks, power amp, and additional armour. Though this modification decreases the Guardian's air-to-air ability, it does increase the craft's strafing performance. Notable vehicles and crew. Flight Officer Rachel, Erica, and Dog. Flight Officer Rachel, Erica, and her Guardian Dog are assigned to support the garrison forces on the Lao world of Hull. Though Erica is yet to see combat, she shows great promise during mock dogfights. In one of these, she was recently credited with a transit kill. No one can be sure how well her skill will show up under actual battle conditions, however.